G'day everyone, welcome to the Opal Mills. Today we've got a lot to do. This isn't even half of it, but we're going to get started on a few things here. One being these that I mentioned in the last video that have been passed on by Paul Keating, one of you guys, and he wants to add to his collection some stones by me. So we're going to make a doublet out of this one. Give it a bit of thickness, and this one should be a cut solid stone. We'll have a good look in a minute. It's not zoomed in, focus is out. Also, we've got a few more of these stones to cut. Some of that nice colour. We've got another close look in a bit. We're going to be on the saw, and so I'll get to that in a minute, but we're going to saw this up and cut some stones. My line of thinking is because of all this through here. There's some really nice colour in there, don't get me wrong. We might isolate that by slicing that through that fracture at least anyway, and taking that off. And as I want to get stone out of there, in here, and most of this will come off when I start grinding away. We will not retreat it. I don't think the treatment really did enough to warrant being treated. Maybe a little bit, we'll see. So yeah, we'll take that bit off, cut a stone out of that. We also want some of that, and some of that. We'll have a better look in a sec when I get this wet again. Sorry, that end. We need to take this off first. So that'll be in the saw. I've collected out a few bits to make some doublets with. And maybe a couple of cut stones out of there. So I'll take them out, we'll have a closer look in a sec. But we've got a lot to do, as you can see. So that, that. And I've got some gold and silver coming in, got to make some pendants out of gold, some silver matching inlay ring blanks, and quite a few other things yet. So busy week. I'll get started on this. Alright, so we'll just start with this. See him in a bit. So this will need slicing up as it's got quite a few fractures in amongst it, unfortunately. Should have left it dry, you would have seen them a bit easier. One's through there. See that line there? So it's got a few issues, but we're going to cut flat that way up. Cut some slices along the bar. And see if we can't isolate some of this colour and get it onto some backing. This piece I'm undecided on, thinking maybe it might be a good little solid if I can take this off and it comes clean enough under there without getting too thin. So it would be very nice as a solid. A couple other bits that just sort of probably could do with a bit of a backing to make them really stand out. I was thinking of carving this piece, but I'm thinking doublet. So yeah, just more of this sort of material. It probably does need a backing. By the time that comes off, half that purple won't be as visible. Same again with most of this pieces, all the purple here, but it's got some really nice colour in it that I think with a black background, kind of fantastic. Now this one I'm not too sure about. It's got a bit of colour in it, certain angles, and it disappears. We'll see what happens when I get down. It'll be a nice thick doublet. Some bits like that just, you couldn't really cut a stone out of it without reducing it right down, and then you've only just got that. So doublet it is. This material is just too thin. Once you cut, if you try to cut and reveal the face, tidied the back up with all the issues of a shape of such, you end up with a very thin piece and structurally unsound. Wouldn't want to set it. So it could easily break. There's a bit of sand in this one, so we're going to have to get him down. Might run a blade through there, see if it withstands. This one, again, indecisive on whether it will be a solid or not. Might stand up on its own. It's got some really nice colour in it though. Would be nice as a solid, but we'll see. It'll have to be reduced due to all that sand in there. And about there. Somewhere in there's a stone. We'll see what happens when it cleans up, what it looks like. Again, would have been nice for a solid stone. I think a black backing on this by the time it's tidied up and thinned out. It'll do it some really vibrant colour. And for these specific pieces, for what they would be otherwise as solids, it's definitely improving the value on it by making these doublets, because the look will totally change, hence the pricing. It's got a bit of sand in it to work around with that one, but a few slices should yield some nice little faces. This one's got a fair bit of sand in it to work around, but there'll be a couple of slices in that. We'll be using a 0.2mm blade, and again that one may be a solid. We'll have to see what it looks like once this comes off. A couple of issues, fair bit of sand eaten, that's why this one's going to be a doublet. But yeah, so we've got to clean that up. We'll get the saw set up and start doing some cutting. We'll start with this one. Again, first cut. It's going to be basically through all this material just to square up this face. Sorry, this face. Okay, so I've got it all sliced up, and this is how I'm planning on proceeding, working around the floors and whatnot. So we got a nice stone in there. For that one. That one. A couple of little ones. Got a few issues in them. Just to keep them clean and fracture free. Try and get a little one out of there anyway. That one may end up that way up. We'll see what happens when I get it cleaned up. A couple of cushion cuts. A couple of teardrops. And a bit of an odd shaped one for this piece, sort of what allows, there's the peak on it, I'll lose that edge, so I'll get what I can out of that, but yeah, it's an odd shape. This one I'm going to keep free form as is, clean up and get rid of this muck here, but I'd like to keep that face, it's quite a nice pattern. Here's the piece I said I'll slice off. Try and keep, probably retreat. So it came out quite nice actually. And this piece, get a free form, sort of a kite shape out of. Nice high dome. So yeah, that's the plan so far. Got all our doublets set out. So I'm just going to clean both surfaces before mixing up some resin. And then we'll set them on. So this is just a methylated spirits and a clean rag, clean cloth, just to get all the dust off. And now we're ready. Get the arrow light and the Batman black dye and start mixing. Okay, so I'll go through this again as much as possible in detail, in as quick as time as possible. Time sensitive when it comes to mixing this, so some of this might be sped up. But to start with, I've just gotten a barbecue skewers, chopped them up in the short lengths, about 2 inches, just for little stir sticks. Got our arrowdite, and this is the Batman black I'm talking about. It's from Archery Creations. Check them out online. They specialise in epoxy resins, dyes, and a whole bunch of other stuff related. I've only bought that from them, so I can't speak too much for their products, but I'm very impressed with this. Secondarily, we've got the Opal. Well, primarily we've got the Opal in the backing. Got all our ingredients, and we're ready to go. So first thing I'm going to do is something different. Just thought of this. I'm going to sticky tape this lid Now the reason I've done that is I make a mess with this resin so often that this time I thought if I do this, I'll be able to just peel that off, wrap it up, throw it in the bin without making too much mess. This, if it gets away from you, will make a lot of mess. So first things first, mix up a bit of this, put a bit of this in it, stir it up, and I'll just do one by one. Or these little ones, I'll be able to do a few in one hit, but I've got to get it happening before it starts setting, and I won't be able to do them all in one hit, so here goes. 3 down. So we're just going to leave these out here to cure. And we'll get on with something else for now. Try not to stick the barbecue skewers through your thumb where you're screwing things up. It can hurt. Alright, so here's our doublets. I've gone ahead and separated the ones that were double joined. And so here's one in particular we'll be doing in a minute. This will be for Paul Keating, along with a stone out of this, bigger than that oval. It's just a guide. It was neaten the back up on this and put it on a dop stick and cut it. And we'll trim the edges up on this, thin out the back and cut this one too. And these will be in another video. But just to show you a couple of them, I think they're going to turn out fantastic. Very nice and dark, very bright. That's gorgeous. So yeah, hopefully these will come up without any underlying issues like air bubbles and so forth. But again, next video. On the side, I've been making a couple of inlay ring blanks, as you can see I'm in the middle of making. Well, I had made, I've made it the wrong size. There's going to be a 6mm and a 5mm band, and the 6mm band was supposed to be the larger size, and I made the smaller size the 6mm band, so I've had to start again. So yeah, just going through putting these rings on here, fitting them to size. I'll solder them in place and caught up again. So this week's just taking me forever. It's turning into a fortnight now. Alright, now I'm just going to sand these and they're done. As far as I'm doing anything to these. All stamped, ready to go. Okay, there we are. Finish that leg of the video. So it's just 5mm, 6mm, size K, L. Just going to tidy this back up. have to laser some of those a bit. I'm going to dot these up. Okay, so a bit of a side project here. It's a bit of a painted lady. Bit of a fractured right up painted lady. It's got veins running through it everywhere. Some of it's thickened up and some of it's produced a bit of colour. So I'm going to try and surgically remove this off of here and this down as close as I can to this face. And we'll clean this up as well. Alright, so I've managed to isolate this section. Got a bit thin here, whoops. Right where the colour is too. I don't think the colour goes all the way across, but we'll see what it does in under here. We'll go put it on the machine. Alright, so over here on the wheel with the 150 grit on the lucky wheel. Just lost water pressure. There we go. Just taking off the last bit of quartz stone. So you're going to get on and cut some of these bits. I'm just going over to tidy them up on the wheel a bit. This piece I'm going to cut facing that way. I'm going to leave that shell as a backing. All that natural shell shape. This one, if that's the base, I'm going to cut it that way up. That's the top. This one we've got to level out somehow and see what we can get out of this piece. Won't be the brightest of stones, but we'll see. I like it already. Leave that as a natural backing. It's quite pretty. Right, so I finally rounded this all up and finally get to finish this video up. So this has been over 2 weeks, or over the length of 2 weeks, getting all this done. And amongst everything else, I had my other job as well, a couple of jobs on. I had to go to the dentist, get a tooth fixed. So finally we've got matrix stones, doublets, stones cut for Paul. I've already got the other 2 posted off of the inlay rings. This one I'm going to make up myself. We'll be cutting these in a different video. Finally got the rest of these done. I'll grab them in a minute. For the cushion cup I did recently, same parcel. And painted lady that didn't fare too well in the end. So I might start with that. Zoom in. So down this side, it's had a bit of a fracture crack come through it. I'm not sure if it's going to pick up on the camera. Right in front of my thumbnail there. Comes out just in an arch from there around. There you go. And another one appeared, unfortunately. It starts right there, comes straight through that red. So we'll get it coming up. There we go. Starts right there by that bit of white. And it's sort of straight through there. It actually goes all the length. It's just not going to pick up on the camera. But still, it's a nice specimen. It'll have to do. I'm not sure if it's once the pressure of this material on this side was released that it's just fractured, or if it was there already and I just didn't notice it. But still a pretty stone. Nice little specimen. Yeah, we'll do another inlay later on in another video. We'll finish this off. But the 2 blanks finished up nicely and they've been posted. Now, down here, as I was saying before, this cushion cut that I did recently. The rest of the parcel are these ones. So this one, I didn't think it turned out too well. It's got a bit of sand in the side there that shows up. Could have reduced it, but it's got a split there. So it's a bit of an issue stone, this one. So I'm not even worried about finishing the bottom off properly. The more I touched it, the worse it got. Bit of shell turned out fantastic. So it's still got its detail underneath. The formations and growth marks. I think that could be very gently bezel set, following those contours. But yeah, just noticing a bit of sand. Yeah, a bit of sand on the corner there. Could have taken that out. But as a specimen, or maybe a pendant stone, still a nice stone. This one, milky white. A couple of nice flashes here and there. Let's get my fingerprints off it. Tinfire, a bit of blocky colour. A little bit of everything in that one. This one's very pretty. This one turned out really nice. These are so small, it's very finicky little work getting some of these little ones done, finishing them off nicely, front and back. That was a bit of belemnite, second piece in that parcel. So that's those ones. And while we're zoomed in, Paul's. There you go, Paul. So I'll add to your collection. It's a pretty little stone. Still has a bit of sand on the bottom, can't be seen from the top. So it doesn't affect the value as such. And sometimes it is necessary to keep the stone, but sometimes there's a little bit. But a really nice little stone. Some sort of striated pattern there, chuff, bit of flash, bit of roll. There's a lot happening in that one. So I hope you like it. And the doublet you gave me to make up had some sand all throughout it, so there was no way of really getting a clean stone out of it unless I went zhunk, zhunk. But there we are. So that's those two. And then, and up here, we have matrix we started off having a look at. So some really nice stones here. And this is still got the partial treatment on this one. Went in pretty far, it goes all the way through, so unless I sectioned off that as a stone and that as a stone. Oh well. Is what it is. Some nice flashes of colour in this stuff, even without the treatment. The rest of these should be untreated. That one can have some claws coming from the corners. It's a bit of an emerald cut shape. Here was the end with a bit of red. Nice little kite shape, very high dome. And these couple of ovals, quite large, big nice pendant stones. Fantastic colour in that. Little colourful electric lightning bolts coming through it. Clean. Same again. And these two teardrop ones. Quite a nice bit of colour in these. I think they came up with the best patches of colour in them. Especially for untreated matrix. So not all matrix actually can take a treat or needs a treat. And this one. A bird walking on my roof. I don't know if you can hear that. But there we go. Some very nice stones. I hope everyone involved is happy. Quite a few bits and pieces. That was my dad's. There for me. These were for someone else. 1, 2, 3, 5 different people, and then 6 me. So yeah, can't wait to start cutting these. I think I showed you these before. Come up with some really nice colour in them. Which one was it? This one in here I can't wait to cut. This one. It's a really nice one. Really impressed with that. Got a nice black potch. Bit of purple colour on the back too, a little bit double-sider. Bit green flashing through in there as well. So yeah, upcoming video. And lots more coming up too. I'm running out of time on this video to explain it all. So I'll just end this one and get on with the next one. And yeah, hopefully get it all sorted. A lot happening. Yeah, one thing that'll be coming up soon is a giveaway again. I know I've flashed it in a couple of videos recently. A couple of the things that'll be included, including some stamps, Opal stamps, collectible ones, and yeah, a few other bits and pieces. And I think once we get to 3,000 subscribers would be a good point to do it. So we're less than 100 off of that, and once we get there we'll make that happen here. I'll have to figure out something for you all to do to figure out who's gonna end up with what. There'll only be a couple this time, but that'll be pretty cool, including the book, Opal book, Opal Hunters by Don Bartram, and yeah, a few other bits and pieces. So yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling. We'll end this one here and might see you in the next one. Cheers.